recall waking up for today around 2:15 in the morning. That was the first time I woke up today. I recall me and my dad first leaving today around 6:45 in the morning after I completed my rapid pass. After first waking up today, we first left to ultimately we each got a McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwich breakfast meal, which came with not only the sandwich, but also a hash brown and a drink. And for my drink, I opted for a thing of 2% milk. McDonald's doesn't offer any other fat percentage for milk. Otherwise, I would have opted for whole milk. Both me and my dad got a free packet of McDonald's sauce. It's McDonald's, only the M is replaced with a W. The older woman who was taking our order at the time told us that she hadn't found a single customer that liked that sauce. We tried it when we got to the blood donation center. My dad always takes me to when I want to donate either whole blood or platelets. In this case today, I donated platelets, and my dad said when we tried the sauce, my dad said it was horrible then good. For me, it was good. We dipped our hash browns into that sauce. It seems that sauce is part of some kind of promotion McDonald's is doing involving manga. from what I've heard, it's supposed to be a combination of ginger, chili, and sweet and sour sauce. Based off of what I've heard. I donated platelets today. It took roughly from 7:30 in the morning. That was the time of my appointment. To about 10:20. In the morning. During that time, I stayed as still as possible. Only moving my fingers and raising my arms up a bit every now and then after the first hour to keep my arms from becoming too stiff. There was a sort of squeeze toy in my right hand, which you're supposed to squeeze during the donation to make the donation go more smoothly. So I kept that up throughout the whole donation. I made sure initially there was some difficulty because for a platelet donation, both arms are used, and historically my right arm has been more cooperative than my left arm. Hence why historically my right arm is always used for whole blood donations. Yeah, but there was some difficulty, but not too much with both arms. A needle was first put in the left arm. And then a needle was put in the right arm. But some adjustments had to be made to get it into the vein or artery. And then I felt some pressure on and off at the first needle site for the left arm, and I notified staff of that, so the needle had to be taken out and put into a different area. On the left arm. But once that was done, after a bit, everything was smooth. There weren't any problems. I recall my dad picked me up from the blood donation center around 10:45, 10:50 in the morning. And then we spent the rest of the morning hours, and we spent the afternoon hours on errands. And visiting my dad's parents. I recall we first went to the Ollie's by more towards my dad's place. And then we went to a nearby Home Depot. But I didn't go in with my dad for that one. But I did for the earlier Ollie's trip. In between going to that Ollie's, first Ollie's and Home Depot, we both returned some container deposits at the Wegmans by my dad's place. With me and my dad working together to return $3.15 worth of container deposits that were a mixture of aluminum cans and plastic bottles, from my recollection. When Dad was done shopping at Home Depot, we stopped at a nearby Starbucks and got both some prepared coffee beverages. In my case, I opted for a venti or large order of plain coffee of the darkest roast they had. Dad got a new New York coffee mug and some ground coffee made by Starbucks themselves. Then we went to a nearby Dunkin' Donuts and got more ground coffee, along with a box of 12 various donuts, which me and my dad shared in picking out ourselves. By that time, it was roughly around 1 p.m., and I was briefly at my dad's place roughly from 1:15 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. before suddenly Dad offered for me to go with him to see first his mother, and I accepted. So we drove to his parents' place and were there very briefly before we went out to a Savers, and I went in with them. And then I went in with my dad for both that Starbucks and that Dunkin' Donuts. And then after shopping at that Savers, we went to another Ollie's, more towards his parents' place. And then after shopping at that second Ollie's, the last one for today, we visited my dad's dad at the nursing home that he's at currently. And it was a pretty good visit. We gave Grandpa a couple of these, which I reminded my dad of when we were at the checkout of the second Ollie's, and I looked for them where my dad last found them, which was pretty much right next to the checkout register we were waiting in. It was just a brief wait, and luckily I happened to find another 18-pack or 9 packs of 2 Mellow Cups each, while we were about to check out at the second Ollie's we visited today. After visiting my grandpa, we drove back to my dad's parents' place, where we again briefly visited my dad's mom, during which my dad's mom gave us some cake she made at home herself, and it was a pretty good visit. A bit earlier, while visiting my grandpa, I gave him a hug while he was sitting. And I was offered a piece of hard candy and accepted. The piece I took was circular, kind of like a small circle disc, solid, and it was yellow. It tasted a bit lemony. I took this Band-Aid off that was around the top of my middle finger on my right hand. Following the hemoglobin test, that's part of the health screening prior to donating either whole blood or blood components. I recalled taking it off around during that brief period of time I was at my dad's place, between 1:15 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. In the midst of a bunch of errands we did today, I took these off around 10 p.m., which was the time I woke up after falling asleep around 5 p.m. or so. About within half an hour or so of getting back at my dad's place after everything we did today. I'll soon take off the band-aids I showed earlier, and these were around where the band-aids are. The band-aided gauze are currently.